I've had a lot of success with this method, so have many strength athletes. You asked for it, you're getting it. A full video on cluster sets. Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Strength Classroom. Today, I'm talking about cluster sets. Now, what the hell is a cluster set? Cluster sets are when you do multiple mini sets, anywhere from 2 to 3, and you count that as one set. But you're probably asking me, how could that be considered one set if you're doing multiple sets? Now, what you do, in between each of those mini sets, you rest a very short time compared to traditional rest periods. So this can be harder for you, this can be easier for you. There's pros and cons of doing both, of what would make the set feel easier and get you more reps, and what would make the set feel harder and get you less reps. I'm gonna explain the difference between the two. So cluster sets are basically a form of rest pause training. They will help you build work capacity because of the low reps, and you have to get up for the set again, and that can be quite stressful. But by breaking down one set into clusters with brief rest pause periods, you can accumulate more reps or use heavier weights than you would if you just did one continuous set. However, like I said before, breaking the set into mini sets might actually make the reps harder the heavier the weight is, which is not necessarily a bad thing. So by doing clusters, you're not allowing the usual fatigue to set in, such as the soreness to set in. The mini recovery will allow for more overall reps, and more than likely, the bar speed will remain faster for longer, which is a huge benefit. So, cluster set variation number 1. You're gonna use 80 to 85% of your 1 rep max, and you're gonna do 2 cluster sets. Each will be 3 reps. So you're gonna repeat this anywhere from 3 to 4 sets, and I like resting anywhere from 3 to 4 minutes. It's also very dependent on the exercise. I've noticed that deadlifts can be more stressful and I do less sets. Squats, bench, pulls, overhead press, you can do anywhere from 3 to 4 sets. Deadlifts, I suggest maybe 2 or 3, 3 being the higher. My next variation for a cluster set for strength is 3 mini sets of 2 at roughly 85% range. This is another builder for pure strength. For the pure strength cluster sets, I recommend that you rest anywhere from 20 to 40 seconds. That seems to be the sweet spot. And it doesn't have to be the same for each mini set. In the beginning, you can rest less, and then as you go on, you can rest a little bit more. And once again, you're gonna do anywhere from 2 to 4 sets, depending on how you feel you recover from and what phase of your training you are in. Then another variation for pure strength is the 3-2-1. You're gonna do this once again anywhere from 85 to 90%. It is still 6 reps. However, because you're going 3-2-1, the 3 rep set is going to accumulate more fatigue than if you just did 2-2-2. So you're gradually tapering down as you go across the set. I actually prefer this over the 2-2-2. I don't know why. I guess I just like that last set being one explosive push, but they work almost exactly the same. And the volume is almost identical depending on what percentage you pick. And this is a sleeper pick. 3 to 5 sets of 1 rep with 87 to 93% of your 1 rep max. This is also good for pure strength. Now, this one, you're definitely needing to put higher rest periods. I would say anywhere from 45 seconds to a minute, especially if you're gonna go with 93%. And if it's 93% of your true 1 rep max, that's most likely not gonna happen. You're most likely just going to be able to do a couple of singles. So I would stay more towards the 87%. I've tried it with the 93%, and sometimes it's a little too stressful. I'd say most of the time it's a little too stressful, so I would stay closer to the 87 to 90% range. Now, you can also use these to get a little bit of hypertrophy along with strength. So this next cluster set, I like to call this it's not a pure strength, it's not pure hypertrophy, it's somewhere in the middle. You're gonna do 3 mini sets of 4 reps, 3 reps, and 3 reps. That's 10 total reps altogether. And you're gonna use 80 to 85% of your 1 rep max. The rest periods here could be 20 to maybe 40, 45 seconds, depending on what you feel you need. Just make sure you are consistent with week to week as you progress. Now, here's one that's a little bit more hypertrophy based. Okay, I talked about this in a previous video, but I will reiterate it here. You're gonna do 8 sets of 5 with 65 to 75% of your 1 rep max. You're gonna rest anywhere from 45 seconds to a minute. The weight is going to seem super low, but you want the bar speed to remain as fast as possible. But that holds true for any of these cluster sets. Now, you're going to not look at each set as being stressful. You're thinking of all these 8 sets to be one whole set. So would you be able to do a 40 rep set with this weight? No, but these little mini breaks help get a little bit more hypertrophy focus in there. Then another method would be still pure hypertrophy. You're going to do 12 sets of 3 of anywhere from 70 to 80% of your 1 rep max. Once again, the lower percentages are always preferred for these cluster sets, just to not be a little bit too stressful, especially for the hypertrophy ones. You want to think of this as one continuous set. So you're getting 36 reps of high bar speed, but you're getting a good amount of volume in there. And then when you progress the next week, you can up the percentage a little bit more. You're better off using cluster sets with compound movements. Don't try and do these with barbell curls, tricep extensions, lateral raises, face pulls, things like that. You're better off just doing straight sets with those of 6 to 15 reps, or maybe standard rest pause training where you do 3 sets and just try and get as many reps per set as you can. Clusters are really only good, in my honest opinion, with compound exercises. So in conclusion, here are the cluster sets. Try some of them. You can even stack some of them together if they fall in the same category. For example, the first week you can do the 2 sets of 3. The next week you can go 2, 2, 2, and the week after you could go 3, 2, 1. That's something I've done. It's something I'm a fan of. Program them however you wish. Experiment with yourself. I would suggest picking one and then milking it with a percentage. But hey, that's just me. I hope you enjoyed this video and have yourself a great day, ladies and gentlemen.